What's up, everybody? Professional wrestler Chris Wild here with another video. You know what? One of my favorite things about going to an Eagles game is right before the game starts, the player introductions, that hype video that they play. And it's a little bit different every year, but it always has the same theme. And that's Rocky. Rocky Balboa, a symbolic figure in Philadelphia sports history, a fictional figure, but an important one nonetheless. And his whole story was getting beaten down, being told you can't do it, and rising above. And that is this Philadelphia Eagles team. That is the 2019 Philadelphia Eagles to a T. And it is what makes me so happy and proud to be going to this playoff game against Seattle Seahawks tomorrow, because their whole story reminds me of Rocky, but Rocky 3. I call it the Lost Movie, a movie that not many people talk about when they talk about the Rocky franchise. And if you remember, in Rocky 3, Rocky faced Clubber Lang. He could not beat Clubber Lang. And Clubber Lang got Rocky when he was at his most vulnerable. He had lost Mickey. Mickey had died. Rocky goes out, gets his ass destroyed by Clubber Lang, and has to find himself, has to learn new techniques, find new weapons in his arsenal, look to an old friend to help him, and he ends up overcoming the odds, doing what everybody said that he couldn't do, and defeating Clubber Lang at the end of the movie. And that's this Eagles team, man. They have been beaten down this entire year. They've lost player after player after player. I mean, I don't have to talk about it because you already know about it if you're watching this video. And tomorrow night, they get a chance to go up against the Seattle Seahawks team that beat them earlier this year when they were at their most vulnerable. They had just lost Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard was lost a couple games before. They had no identity, no wide receivers. They still had a Nelson Aguilar on the team that didn't want to be there. Rookie right tackle that's supposed to be left tackle, you name it. They were dealing with it. And the Seattle Seahawks, and rightfully so, took advantage of that and came away with a win at the Link. And tomorrow, the Eagles get their chance to defeat their Clubber Lang. And it's going to start with number 11, Carson Wentz. And that's another theme of this season, is Carson Wentz checking off the boxes. And we've talked about it before, checking off the box of coming back in a fourth quarter, staying healthy a whole season. And he's just done everything, making players better. You name it. I've talked about it in videos before, so I won't get too far into that, but he's done it. He's got to do it tomorrow by checking off that next box of winning a playoff game. And I think this is really important. You talk about all the quarterbacks in the playoffs. This is really important to Carson Wentz more than anyone else, because for the past 2 years, you look at 2017, he starts off on fire, an MVP candidate, gets hurt at the end of the season, has to watch his backup take the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl win. There's a statue in Lincoln Financial Field of Nick Foles and Doug Peterson that Carson Wentz has to see every single day. And then last year, he comes back fast, too fast, to the point to where he was still hurt, goes out towards the end of the season, has to watch Nick Foles again take this team into the playoffs and almost to the championship game. Does Carson Wentz. So now's his chance, his opportunity. Tomorrow, it's all comes down to this. And I think he can do it. He's shown us that he can win with nobodies. No disrespect to any of the players that are currently on that team, but let's be honest, nobody knew who Boston Scott was. Nobody knew who Greg Ward was, Rob Davis. People still don't know who Deontay Burnett is. I'm still listening to radio now, and they don't know who number 16 is on the Eagles. And Carson Wentz has made these guys better. He's rallied these guys. He's been a leader, and he takes them into a game that he can win tomorrow night. And he's got to play an awesome game for that to happen. When they played the Seahawks earlier in the year, he had his worst game, in my opinion, of his career. Overthrowing guys, turning the ball over. The Eagles had 5 turnovers, and the Seahawks still kind of struggled to beat the Eagles. Now, look, we're dealing with some major injuries. Lane Johnson, I talked about him in my last video. You could put a gun to my head, I would have said that he was playing, but he has been ruled out for tomorrow's game. Also, Nelson Aguilar is ruled out. He might as well be ruled out of any future plans that the Eagles have. But on some good news, we're getting Zach Ertz back. It looks like he's going to be cleared to play. He's been cleared for contact, and he will play tomorrow night. That's a huge, even if he's just out there as a decoy, that's huge for the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, Miles Sanders had a full practice Friday. He's going to play. So, look, these guys are banding together like no other Eagles team that I can remember in the past has before. It's truly impressive. I don't care what the media is saying about who the Eagles have played. They've played for shitty teams, the Giants twice, the Redskins. All these guys are picking in the top 5 of the draft. Look, let me say one thing right now. When the Eagles beat the Cowboys had just defeated the Rams 44-16, and everyone in the media and ESPN was crowning the Cowboys as a team that could possibly win the Super Bowl, as they had all year. So I don't want to hear it about the caliber team that Carson Wentz had to beat, because he had to do it, again, with guys that he's unfamiliar with and that couldn't start on any other team probably besides maybe the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Not the Cleveland Browns, they got ODB and Jarvis Landry and still didn't win, but that's another story. And he's done it. And look, the Seattle Seahawks coming into this game, they're hurting too, man. They've got nobody at running back. They had to bring back Marshawn Lynch, who looks like he's got glue on his feet. Tyler Lockett's hurting at wide receiver. Their offensive line is shoddy at best, and their defense is not the defense that it used to be. They lost Michael Kendricks this week to a torn ACL. So the Eagles are going to have their opportunities. They just have to play mistake-free football, and the reason being is because, look, they're finally facing a really good head coach. Pete Carroll is a good head coach. Say what you want to say about him. He knows how to get his teams to win. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach. He did make one of the dumbest plays in Super Bowl history, or coaching decisions in Super Bowl history, when he decided not to run Marshawn Lynch. But again, another story for another time. But he does know how to get these guys to play. And Russell Wilson is an MVP candidate for this year. I mean, the guy he does things that absolutely frustrate defenses, and he can throw a team on his back and get them to win. We saw that when we played them earlier in the year. I'm super hyped. As you can tell, I'm going to the game tomorrow with my little brother Trey, my first playoff game in years. And I really just feel like this team, I'm not going to sit here, and I hate to make predictions, but I'm not going to sit here and say that this team is going to lose their first home playoff game since 2017, because I think that they have a great shot at winning, and I think that they can win. I really believe that they can win this game. And you know why? You know what really makes me think they can win this game is because the Eagles play best, and we've talked about it on my channel all season, when their back is to the wall, and it's to the wall again because they're underdogs. Every analyst is picking against them. Everybody is laughing at them like they shouldn't even be there. The NFL put out a hype video in the beginning of the week, and they left out the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings out of that hype video. Since then, they've put them in. Miles Sanders, Pro Football Focus, says that he's not even a top 50 rookie. Everybody is counting these guys out and discounting them, and I think that they can use that tomorrow at home, and this place is going to be absolutely insane and going crazy. Home field advantage. Look, Seattle, you got your 12th man on the field. We've got 66,000 at the link. I'm going to bring it. I know my brother's going to bring it. I know the entire city of Philadelphia is going to bring it tomorrow. If we can just get this one win, anything can happen. Guys, it's been an awesome week, having a week full of playoff preparation. And I don't know what else to say. Go Birds. I'll be filming tomorrow live from Lincoln Financial Field, live from the 4th of John tailgate. And there's going to be a lot of different YouTube celebrities hanging around. We'll see if we can get some footage from them as well. So again, to my subscribers, thank you for subscribing. To those that haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like, share, tell a friend. It is playoff time. And it's time for the time is now. It's time for these Eagles to do what they did in 2017, and that's prove the world wrong. Go Birds.